It's strange how our bodies can deceive us, isn't it? One day we feel fine, and the next day it's as if someone has taken away part of our strength. Our reflexes are not the same. We stumble upon things, our heads spin, and the simplest activities turn into a real challenge. Today we will talk about a situation that may have happened to you, or maybe you have witnessed it with someone nearby. Imagine waking up after a night's sleep feeling odd. Nothing dramatic, yet something feels off. You might shrug it off, assuming it's just another one of those days. However, there's an unsettling twist. The sensation persists, growing worse. You push it aside, hoping it will pass. Yet time reveals a disconcerting truth. The strangeness is actually your new reality. This seems to be the case for a woman named Celine. Every day becomes a battle with dizziness, as if the ground beneath her feet is unstable and deceptive. This may sound like a story of vertigo, but believe me, it's much more than that. It's a narrative about resilience, courage, and adaptation. It's a story that echoes with life and invites us to reflect on the challenges we face as we age. In this tale, Selena takes center stage, and the spotlight shines on her inner strength. She faces this daily instability with dignity and resolve, showcasing remarkable tenacity. Each day is a test, and she meets it with quiet determination. But why does she behave like this? Why doesn't she seek help or share her struggles with others? The answer lies in her personality. Selena is not one to complain or burden others with her problems. She's an independent woman who values her privacy and avoids being a bother to her loved ones. Yet under the surface, what is she really feeling? As the days go by, her bravery is put to the test. How far can she go with this internal struggle? When will she finally decide to seek help and confide in someone? How will her family react when they discover the difficulties she has been facing? Will they be supportive and understanding, or will they criticize her for not sharing her struggles earlier? Only time will reveal the answers to these questions. The smell of freshly brewed coffee fills the air, mingling with the sweet scent of pastries that adorn the kitchen counter. Sunlight streamed through the windows, casting warm shadows on the checkered floor. Outside, birds sang their cheerful songs, and the gentle breeze rustled the leaves in the trees. It was a perfect morning, or so it seemed. For Helene, the day began like any other. The old woman awoke, refreshed, and ready to face the new day. Years had passed since she felt such vitality. Now filled with energy, she was eager to embrace the day. Her eyes sparkled with joy as she hummed a lively tune, recalling an era when happiness was as carefree as a child's laughter. Reaching for the radio on the nightstand, she turned it on, filling the room with the melody of a beloved song. With graceful steps, Helena made her way to the kitchen. Her hands, despite their age, moved with the agility of youth as she prepared her favorite coffee. The rich aroma, mingled with the comforting fragrance of her pastries, created a symphony of sensations that stirred memories of happier times. But fate had a peculiar trick up its sleeve. Just as Helen was about to enjoy the fruits of her labor, a sudden dizziness washed over her. The room spun around, threatening to engulf her. With a gasp, she grabbed onto the countertop, seeking support. For a moment, the world stood still, and Elena questioned whether this was a fleeting lapse or a sign of something more. As the disorientation subsided, she found herself enveloped in a chilling realization. The familiar surroundings seemed alien. Was it possible that the house she had known for decades had undergone a transformation without her notice? Or was it her perception that had shifted? Determined to regain her bearings, Helena decided to venture outside. Stepping onto the porch, she inhaled deeply, hoping the fresh air would restore her equilibrium. But instead of finding solace, she was confronted with an unsettling sight. Her own garden, once a source of joy, now appeared distorted, as if viewed through a warped lens. The flowers that had bloomed there for years looked unfamiliar. Their colors seemed muted, and their shapes distorted. The trees that had sheltered her from the sun now loomed over her, their branches gnarled and menacing. The peaceful chirping of birds was replaced by an eerie silence, broken only by the rustling of leaves in the wind. Panic tightened its grip on Elena's heart, making it race uncontrollably within her chest. As darkness descended, the true extent of her predicament became evident. The familiar streets of her neighborhood had transformed into a labyrinth, devoid of recognition. The comforting landmarks that had guided her for years were nowhere to be seen. Lost and afraid, Helena stumbled along, desperately searching for a familiar face or a reassuring voice. Yet all she encountered were indifferent strangers and unwelcoming stares. As the night wore on, the weight of her isolation pressed down on Helena, intensifying her despair. With each passing moment, her hope dwindled, leaving her enveloped in a suffocating blanket of fear and solitude. Where am I? Who can help me? These desperate questions echoed in the chambers of her heart, unanswered and unrelenting. The sky, once a canvas of twinkling stars, now seemed to mock her with its indifference. The moon, a silent observer, cast long, distorted shadows that danced menacingly around her. Just when her strength began to fail her, a glimmer of hope appeared in the distance. A faint light flickered, beckoning like a lighthouse in the storm. Summoning the last vestiges of her energy, Helena stumbled toward the light. As she drew nearer, the building emerged from the shadows, revealing itself as a church, its doors slightly ajar, inviting her in. With trembling steps, she crossed the threshold, finding herself in a sanctuary of peace and tranquility. Inside, the flickering flames of a nearby fireplace danced and crackled, chasing away the darkness and offering a semblance of warmth. Seated in a pew, Helena allowed the silence to envelop her, providing a momentary respite from the turmoil that had consumed her. Suddenly, a gentle voice broke the silence, startling her from her reverie. Turning, she saw a woman approaching, her eyes filled with kindness and compassion. "My dear Helena, I sensed your presence here. Can I assist you in any way?" the woman inquired, with genuine concern. Helena, finding solace in the compassionate gaze of the stranger, poured out her tale of woe, her voice trembling with emotion. As she spoke, the full weight of her ordeal crashed down upon her, bringing tears to her eyes. The woman listened intently, offering words of comfort and understanding every now and then. When Helena finished her story, the woman, whose name was Maria, offered her a warm smile and a reassuring hug. "Rest here for now, Helena. Tomorrow you'll feel renewed and we'll find a solution to your troubles," Maria said with unwavering determination. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Helena followed Maria to a small room at the back of the church where she could rest. As she lay down on the comfortable bed, she couldn't help but wonder about the enigmatic woman who had come to her aid and the mysterious power of the place that had drawn her in. The following morning, sunlight streamed through the window, rousing Helena from her slumber. She sat up, feeling rejuvenated and ready to confront the challenges ahead. Maria entered the room, her presence as radiant as the dawn. Together, they embarked on a journey to unravel the mysteries that had befallen Helena. Seeking answers, they delved into ancient texts and consulted with spiritual guides, each step bringing them closer to the heart of the enigma. With each passing day, Helena's faith in Maria's guidance grew stronger, and she found solace in the unwavering support and wisdom of the enigmatic woman. Maria's belief in Helena's inherent goodness served as a guiding light, illuminating the path toward understanding and healing. Helena, inspired by Maria's conviction, began to see the strength within herself and the beauty in the world around her. Finally, after many hours of reflection and deep conversation, Maria turned to Helena, her eyes shining with newfound clarity. "Helena, my dear, the answer lies not in distant lands, but within the depths of your own being. Your journey is a metaphor for the trials of life. The darkness you face represents the shadows in your soul, the twisting paths symbolize the complexities of your emotions, and the light you seek is the faith that has always resided within you. Trust in the power of your spirit and embrace the challenges that come your way, for they hold the key to your liberation." Embracing Maria's teachings, Helena realized that her journey was not merely a physical one, but a profound spiritual and emotional odyssey. With renewed purpose, she resolved to confront her inner darkness, unravel the knots of her emotions, and reignite the flame of her faith. Thus began Helena's journey of self-discovery and healing. Guided by Maria's wisdom, she delved into the recesses of her soul, confronting her fears and embracing the transformative power of faith. With each step, she shed layers of doubt and despair, revealing the radiant spirit that had always been within her. In the end, Helena's tale serves as a reminder that sometimes the answers we seek are hidden within us, waiting to be discovered. With the right guidance and an unwavering spirit, we can navigate the twists and turns of life and emerge stronger, wiser, and more connected to our inner selves. And with that, our story comes to an end. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the enigmatic tale of Helena. If you enjoyed the story, let us know in the comments below. Share this amazing content with friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating narratives. With medical advice, Celine promised the doctor and her granddaughter that she would change her routine. Before getting out of bed, she would sit for a few minutes. She would breathe and feel her body moving. She would get up slowly and drink more water throughout the day and relearn how to walk calmly and attentively. Over time, the dizziness subsided. She started watering her plants again, going to the supermarket, smiling more. What once seemed like the beginning of the end became the beginning of a new phase. More conscious, lighter, more careful. But did it start instantly? Did it start like magic? No. It started with a few small changes like this. Every Sunday, Celine made a list of what she would buy at the supermarket. She wrote it down on a yellow legal pad next to the phone in the kitchen, a pencil behind the receiver. She already knew what she was going to buy at the supermarket. Nothing new, nothing different. But that Sunday, when she passed the dairy aisle, she stopped. She remembered what the doctor had told her about vitamins, calcium, and vitamin D. She walked over to the shelves where they sold yogurts and bought 3 natural yogurts without additives. One for Monday, another for Tuesday, and the third for Wednesday. She put them in her basket and felt proud. That's 3 days ahead. She would never have dared to do that before. Celine came home with a package of assorted yogurts. She placed it on the counter and took out the one she was going to have that Monday. She opened it and took a spoonful to her mouth. She liked the yogurt. It tasted like yogurt, unlike those others that tasted like sugar and flour. This one, although plain, was good. She finished the container quickly and satisfied. She felt proud. She had taken a step forward. She had eaten something healthy and good without complications. On Tuesday, she repeated the same. She took the second yogurt out of the fridge and ate it, enjoying the experience. And on Wednesday, she did it again with the last yogurt. After lunch, she was surprised to see that she wanted to throw away the packaging of the empty yogurt cups in the trash. She had never done that before. She always threw everything together in a bag without distinguishing what she was throwing away. But now she felt a need to separate, to distinguish. Thursday arrived, and with it, the need to buy another set of yogurts. She went to the supermarket, placed the yogurts in her basket, and moved on to the next aisle. Where she stopped again, but this time in front of the cereal boxes. She thought about what the doctor had told her about the importance of fiber, how good it was to have a bowl of cereal for breakfast. She remembered the bowls of milk with sugar that accompanied her every morning. She thought of the ones that her mother prepared for her when she was a girl. She smiled. Her mother always added a lot of sugar. She shook her head, picked up a box of cereal without sugar, paid for it at the checkout, and took it home. The next morning, she poured some milk into a bowl and added a few spoons of cereal. She hesitated. She dipped the spoon inside. She didn't know if she should add more milk or more cereal. She thought back to what the doctor had said about reading the instructions on the back of the box. She looked for the instructions and followed them, adding the exact amount of cereal and milk that the box recommended. She took a bite and realized that it was the best cereal she had ever tasted. The following Thursday, she repeated the process, making sure she didn't forget to buy another box of cereal at the supermarket. Every Thursday, she repeated the ritual of buying, enjoying, planning, preparing, and eating. And she began to learn about her body, her needs, her likes and dislikes. She began to understand that it was important to listen to her body and give it what it wanted. Celine was happy. She had started to find pleasure in simple things. A yogurt, a cereal, a piece of bread with jam. But she also found pleasure in taking care of herself, and listening to her body and doing what she liked, what she wanted. She could do it. She was strong enough to live a new life. She didn't need to wait until the weekend to enjoy herself. She could enjoy herself today. She could start today. She was tired of waiting. She was tired of postponing happiness. She wanted to live. She wanted to live today, right now, and not tomorrow. And she could. Yes, she could. She could enjoy a hot bath. She could wear her prettiest robe. She could read a book. She could drink a cup of coffee with a piece of homemade cake. She could call her grandchildren, ask them how they are doing, listen to their laughter. She could listen to music, dance, laugh, remember, dream. She could live. As the weeks passed, Celine's life changed. She started going out more often, meeting friends, visiting places, traveling, living. She started dressing prettier, wearing her favorite clothes, shoes, jewelry. She walked with her head held high, looking straight ahead, firm and steady. She was no longer afraid of falling, but if she did, she would get up again, dust herself off, and keep walking. She wasn't afraid anymore. She had found the strength to get up again. She was no longer afraid of being alone. She had found the strength to keep going. She wasn't afraid anymore. She had found the strength to keep going. She wasn't afraid of anything anymore. She had found the strength to go on living. One afternoon, as the sun was setting and painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Selena sat on her favorite bench in the park, feeding the birds. She watched as they flew around her, chirping and fighting for the crumbs she offered them. She smiled. She was no longer afraid of dying. She had found the strength to go on living. Now watch the video shown here on the screen, or click on this other video to continue watching. Until next time, goodbye. In the heart of a lively Brazilian neighborhood, there lived a spirited 72-year-old woman named Celine Elderly. Life had been good to her. Over the years, she had built a beautiful family, enjoying the unconditional love of her children and grandchildren. Every Sunday, she looked forward to the ritual of getting together with her loved ones, savoring delicious homemade meals filled with laughter and joy. Despite the simple pleasures that life offered, she elderly cherished most of all her health and independence. For her, being able to take care of herself and do the things she loved were priceless. So imagine the shock that one morning she experienced when suddenly her whole world seemed to turn upside down, quite literally. As she got out of bed, her legs buckled beneath her, threatening to send her crashing to the floor. Instinctively, she reached out for support, catching herself just in time. Her heart pounded in her chest, and she could feel the blood rushing to her head. Dizziness hit her, causing her to sway unsteadily. It was a feeling of instability that she had never experienced before. Fear clutched at her throat, making it difficult to breathe. She forced herself to sit back down on the edge of the bed, trying to regain her composure. Her hands trembled as she tried to rationalize what had just happened. Was it just a momentary lapse, a trick of her aging mind? Or was it something more sinister lurking beneath the surface? The incident left her shaken, wondering if such a thing would happen again. And if so, what would she do? Would she be able to rely on her strong-willed son, busy with his career, or her caring daughter, who was miles away pursuing her dreams? Or would she have to face this frightening ordeal alone? The next morning arrived, and she elderly woke up feeling a mix of apprehension and determination. As she got out of bed, her hand instinctively went to her chest, her heart racing. Days turned into weeks, and the dizziness continued to haunt her, intensifying her fear and uncertainty. She started to dread those moments when she would leave the house, unsure of whether she would make it back safely. As the sun rose and set, she elderly found herself increasingly confined within the four walls of her home, her spirit wilting with each passing day. She elderly missed her Sunday gatherings, the laughter of her loved ones, and the joy of sharing special occasions with them. Instead, she was trapped inside, consumed by her fears and the isolation it brought. The thought of missing out on yet another Sunday gathering, this time to celebrate her grandson's graduation, tore at her heart. Determined not to let this debilitating condition defeat her, she elderly made a decision. With trembling hands, she dialed her son's number, hesitantly explaining her situation. Tears welled up in her eyes, blurring her vision as she poured her heart out to him, pouring out her fears and the possibility that her health might be failing. On the other end of the line, her son's deep voice echoed with concern and empathy. He listened patiently to his mother's trembling words, understanding the gravity of her situation. Without hesitation, he reassured her, promising to return as soon as possible. Within a few hours, he was by her side, his presence a beacon of comfort and support. With gentle care, he helped her into the car and drove her to the doctor. Throughout the journey, he kept up a lively conversation, ensuring his mother wouldn't dwell on her fears. At the hospital, as the doctor examined her elderly, a sense of hope flickered within her. Could this be the answer she had been seeking? Would the doctor shed light on her condition and alleviate her fears? Only time would tell. After a thorough examination and numerous tests, the doctor finally shared the results with Selena, elderly, and her son. Much to their surprise, there was no underlying medical cause for her dizziness. Relief washed over Selena, elderly, but it was short-lived, as the doctor revealed that her condition was not uncommon among seniors. But it still required attention. The doctor explained that such spells were likely triggered by hormonal changes associated with aging, emphasizing the importance of addressing them. Despite the diagnosis, Selena elderly remained undeterred. She knew she couldn't let this diagnosis define her. She had lived a full life and wasn't ready to let it pass her by. Instead, she decided to focus on the positive aspects of her life, cherishing the moments with her loved ones, reminiscing about the good times. As the days passed, she elderly found solace in the support of her family and friends. They rallied around her, organizing regular visits and engaging her in activities that brought her joy. One afternoon, while browsing through old photo albums with her grandchildren, Selena elderly came across a picture that made her smile. It was a photo of her younger self, full of life and adventure, standing beside her late husband, their love evident in their eyes. The memories flooded back, bringing a rush of emotions. She remembered the laughter, the dreams, and the unwavering bond they shared. It was a bittersweet moment, but it also reminded her of her strength and resilience. Then came the realization that the dizziness she had been experiencing was not a sign of defeat, but a call to adapt and find new ways to navigate life. She elderly had always been active, but now it was time to explore different avenues. She discovered the joy of gardening, finding peace and tranquility in nurturing plants and watching them grow. It was a therapeutic experience that allowed her to connect with nature and find beauty in the simplest of things. In the evenings, she would sit on her porch, surrounded by the fragrant blooms, feeling a sense of accomplishment and contentment. It was then that Selenor discovered a community of senior citizens in her neighborhood. Intrigued, she decided to reach out and see if there were others like her, those who had also encountered similar challenges and found solace in gardening. As she began attending their gatherings, she found a sense of camaraderie that lifted her spirits. Surrounded by people who understood her struggles, she felt less alone in her journey. They shared tips, exchanged plants, and most importantly, provided emotional support. Celine Elderly realized that she wasn't just finding a way to cope with her dizziness, but also forging new friendships and creating lasting memories. Word spread through the community about Celine Elderly's positive attitude and resilience. People began to seek her out, drawn to her ability to find joy amidst adversity. She became a source of inspiration for many, showing them that age was just a number and that happiness could be found in the most unexpected places. Celine Elderly continued to embrace life with enthusiasm, participating in various activities and making the most of every opportunity. She traveled, she danced, and she never shied away from trying something new. Although the dizziness continued to be a part of her life, she refused to let it define her. Instead, she celebrated the small victories, the laughter, and the love that surrounded her. One day, while attending a gardening club meeting, Selenor struck up a conversation with a fellow member who shared her passion for plants. As they discussed different species and techniques, Selena noticed a spark in the man's eyes, a zest for life that reminded her of her younger days. His name was Antonio, a retired architect, and he possessed a contagious enthusiasm that drew Selena towards him. They started meeting regularly, not just for gardening, but also for coffee and long walks in the park. Selena found herself enjoying Antonio's company, his kindness, and his ability to make her laugh. There was a comfortable connection between them, and she couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement, feeling she had long thought she had left behind. With Antonio by her side, Selena Elderly rediscovered the joy of living. They explored new hobbies together, such as pottery, and even took up ballroom dancing classes, much to the amusement of their friends in the gardening club. As months went by, their friendship deepened into something more. They supported each other through challenges, celebrated each other's successes, and cherished the simple moments they shared. Selena Elderly never imagined that she would find love again, let alone at her age. But with Antonio, she experienced a love that was deeper and more profound than she had ever imagined. Now holding hands with her new love, Celine Elderly walked through the bustling market, their laughter echoing through the crowded aisles. Their love story, a testament to the fact that age is just a number, and that love can blossom in the most unexpected corners of life. From the doctors at the hospital to the members of her gardening club, people marveled at her strength and optimism. The initial concern and pity in their eyes were replaced with admiration and respect. Selenor's journey became a beacon of hope for others facing similar challenges, proving that it's possible to overcome adversity with grace and dignity. As the years went by, Selenor continued to defy the odds. She proved that age was just a number, and that love, joy, and companionship can be found at any stage of life. Her story became a legend in her community, inspiring countless others to embrace life's challenges with courage and to never lose sight of the beauty that surrounds them.